All right, shalom everyone, and welcome once again to Just a Word and this another of our Shabbat teachings. Today, we're going to do something we kind of touched already. Today, with the developments that are going on in the world, we have to do this video for the people in the world to highlight the modern day Babylon, because we are in a period of time in our existence in this world in which the wicked of this world is coming back once again with their evil. So we have to show people where we are at this particular point in time. So in knowing where we are at this point in time, we will know what we must do according to the scriptures. So we're speaking about Babylon, and we have done several videos on Babylon. But on this one, we are going to center on who the Bible prophesies or where the Bible prophesies as modern day Babylon. And we are going to do it. We have done it partially before. We are going to use scriptures and real life revelations to show you the dangerous Babylon, the city, what the Bible calls the city of Babylon, that is to be destroyed soon. Millions of people are in this Babylon. Millions of our people are there, holding fast, refusing to let go. So we hope that in doing this, people will see without a doubt where modern day Babylon is, so they can know without a doubt what they, and also we're going to show what we have to do, what the Bible says we have to do at this particular point in time. So our focus, our question is the United States in New Testament prophecy? That is the question. Is the United States in modern day prophecy? And why we use the United States? The United States is the chief nation of the world. Okay? The chief nation of the world. And the Bible tells us that in the end time, the children of Israel will be in captive once again in Babylon. Now, let me go to the book of Lamentations, which tells us what happens to our people when we are in captivity. Lamentations 1, we are going at verse 5. Go ahead.
Her adversaries are the chief, her enemies prosper, for Yahuwah hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy.
So the children of Israel will be in captivity in modern day Babylon. Now it says her adversaries, her enemies are the chief. So to find modern day Babylon, we have to find the chief nation of the world. Her enemies prosper, and that chief nation must be one that prospers. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. So the nation that prospers the most in this world is the United States. But people say the United States is not in prophecy. The Bible does not speak about the United States. It does not speak about America. But one thing about the Bible will point you out, but the Bible will give you a different name. Yes? Because that name was not around when the Bible was being written. So all we have to do is look at prophecies. So in this teaching, we plan, hopefully we are going to show the end time Babylon spoken of in the Bible. hopefully without a shadow of a doubt. We will also take a little look at the timeline to see where we are with this modern day Babylon and what we have to actually do. So hopefully by the end, without a shadow of a doubt, you should be able to see with what modern day Babylon is. Now, there is a New Testament Babylon that is prophesied. So we know that Babylon is prophesied in the Old Testament, but also in the New Testament. So if it is prophesied in the New Testament, it means that it is in the end of the age. It means that we still have not realized what this modern day Babylon is. So let's look at the prophecy of latter day New Testament Babylon to be destroyed. Let's go to Revelation chapter 18. All right, this video is for the people out there. Revelation 18, starting at verse 1.
And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his splendor.
Yes. Yes.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul ruach, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
So in the book of Revelation, Babylon the Great is fallen. But Babylon has been destroyed for how many thousands of years? There is no great place called Babylon today. The only place I know called Babylon is a place in what they call Iraq. They say Babylon actually was. So Babylon the Great is going to fall in the New Testament. Where is that Babylon? Verse 3.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
So here we see a hint of Babylon. This Babylon must be a country that is ruling all nations. All nations. And we know that all nations are ruled from the United Nations. Now, where is the United Nations? It is in one nation. Where is it? It's on, I think, 42nd Street in New York City, the United States. All right? The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So, wherever this Babylon is, it must be a place that enriches the merchants. Business. It must be a business-friendly place that merchants from all over the world will come to in order to make money. Verse 4.
And I heard another voice from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
So this is the Most High instructing his people to come out of her. So wherever this Babylon is, that means his people are there. It says, come out of her. Did it say come out of her, everyone? Come out of her, my people. So wherever this Babylon is, his people are there. And we know his people. Okay? Verse 5.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Alua hath remembered her iniquities.
Okay, then. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at different aspects of prophecy and match up this Babylon today with the prophecy. So there is a prophecy of, no. Let's look at no, it's the wrong one. Oh, this is the wrong one. I'm going to, oh, this is the wrong one. I got the wrong one here. All right, let me just get the verse for this one. Let me see if I can get the, okay. This one so that I don't want to miss this one. Let me get it. Let me get it. Sorry about this, but let me see. And this one. I don't know how I missed this one. Anyway, I'll just have to leave that one out. Probably come to it another time. All right. So let me go to the verse and do it without the highlight. It's Jeremiah 50, I think it is. Jeremiah 50. Yes, verse 2. Jeremiah 50, verse 2.
Declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard, publish, and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces.
All right, so Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. If you research Bel and Merodach, you will see that they are the name of Bel and Merodach, same Baal, or the Lord. The Lord. Now, where have we heard the word the Lord, the term the Lord before? Where did we hear the term the Lord? In Bible, in Christianity. We have been telling people that Christianity is a religion of Babylon. The Lord has been used to refer to the Messiah and also to Yahuwah, the Father, in the Bible. The Lord is Baal or Bel or Merodach. The Bible that they gave us, the religion that they gave us, the religion that runs the United States, the religion of Christianity, is actually giving worship to Bel, to Merodach. Okay? We're going to look at the similarity between them. So through Christianity, they have used pastors. They have used pastors to lead our people, to lead Yasharal astray through the false religion of Christianity and also Islam. Go to Jeremiah 50 verses 6 to 7. They have used pastors to lead the sheep astray. The sheep is Yasharal through the false religion.
My people hath been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against Yahuwah, the habitation of justice, even Yahuwah, the hope of their fathers.
So their shepherds have led them astray, turned them away on the mountains, from mountain to hill, from religion to religion, from denomination to denomination. They have forgotten their resting place. And where is their resting place? Let's go to Isaiah 28. Go to verse 12. Where is their resting place? Isaiah 28, verse 12. Start from 11.
For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
When we are in captivity, that's what's going to happen to us. He's going to talk to us with a foreign language, speak to us through clones, and verse 12.
To whom he said, This is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear.
Their rest and refreshing is through righteousness in Mount Zion. But they did not want to hear, so they were allowed to be led astray by the shepherds on every hill and on every mountain. Now, Babylon was guarded by a great image. Daniel 3, verses 1 to 2. We're going to see the similarities between ancient Babylon and between modern day Babylon. Daniel 3, verses 1 to 2.
Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Okay. So, likewise, Babylon USA is guarded by a great image, a huge statue of a woman in Babylon USA's largest city, New York City. That image is called the Statue of Liberty. So this was an image, an idol made by Nebuchadnezzar. But what is the Statue of Liberty? Because they want you to believe that it's just a woman holding up some torch. But many historians say that the Statue of Liberty was modeled after Libertas, the Roman goddess of freedom, which is why they call Babylon USA the land of the free and the home of the brave, because she's named Statue of Liberty is Libertas, goddess of freedom that guards modern day Babylon. Now, another one. Ancient Babylon was an economic powerhouse. Lamentations 1 verse 5, we did that before. Let's do it again to show that Babylon was an economic powerhouse. Because Babylon was the adversaries of Judah. Go ahead.
Her adversaries are the chief, her enemies prosper, for Yahuwah hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy.
All right, so Babylon prospering. Daniel 4, 29 to 32. Go ahead, please.
At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty?
So, Nebuchadnezzar was boasting. Why was he boasting? Because of the great and powerful kingdom that he had built. He thought it through his power. But the Most High is going to show him that it was he, the Most High, who allowed him to build it. Continue verse 31.
While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will.
He giveth it to whomsoever he will. Notice in Lamentations 1:5 it says, her adversaries are the chief. Whenever the children of Israel are being afflicted, their enemies are the chief nations of the world. The Most High will raise up their enemies to be the head, and so that Yasharal can be the tail. So Babylon was an economic powerhouse. It is the same thing today. Modern day Babylon, where his people are, is an economic powerhouse. Modern economic powerhouse, United States of America. The United States has a diverse, highly developed and private sector-led economy, which is the largest in the world in nominal GDP terms and is characterized by high levels of productivity. What did it say in Lamentations? Her adversaries are the chief. Huh? Huh? Yes. And it's characterized by high levels of productivity, technological innovation, and competitiveness. Other key economic strengths include a flexible labor market, because people are going to come from all over the world to come and work there. So they always have labor. Relatively solid demographics compared to other rich nations, and the use of the dollar, the world's reserve currency. Her adversaries are the chief. Babylon of old would be the one that would be dictating the economies of the world at the time. Modern day Babylon, United States, through the use of its dollar, its worthless dollar, that is what it uses to dictate the world today. We call it dollar useless because it is not pegged to anything. They just keep printing money, printing money, which is why they're going to collapse. They have no power. Their power is actually based on the perception of other countries. Now, other countries at this time are turning away from the United States, running from the dollar that has no value. So if the dollar has no real value and people are running away from it, what's going to happen? The dollar collapses, the world collapses. U.S. economic data is strong. In the decade to 2022, the United States boasted real GDP growth of 2.1%, well above the G7 average of 1.7%. However, the USA also has its weaknesses. Income inequality is the highest among its peers. Politics and society at large are bitterly polarized, and the fiscal position is weak. This comes from focuseconomics.com. So they have their weaknesses, and it's their weaknesses that's going to help them to be toppled. Don't watch their strengths. Okay, so let's look at another similarity between ancient Babylon and modern Babylon, USA. Remember when Nebuchadnezzar did this? Daniel 1 verse 3. Babylon took the best of the people they conquered. Take note of the word science. Babylon took the best of the people they conquered. Daniel 1 verse 3 to 4.
And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Yasharel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, in whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans.
All right. So we have some similarities here with the United States. The children of Israel are there. Now they order them to bring people who are well favored, skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science. You have something? Hold on.
I was saying after World War II, this is what happened.
That's
United
what we're going to
States
look at.
Draw all the skilled scientists, everyone that was the best in their field, the United States.
Yes, that's what we're going to look at. And they still do this today through their, what you call it? When people are filing for people. Yeah, they smartly look for the best and the most skilled. Yeah. So, Operation Paperclip. USA took the best of those whom they conquered during World War II. Operation Paperclip. They say there's no difference between Old Babylon and New Babylon. This is definitely without a doubt Babylon. Operation Paperclip was a secret United States intelligence program in which more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians skilled in science were taken from the former Nazi Germany to the US for government employment after the end of World War II in Europe between 1945 and 59. Some were former members and leaders of the Nazi Party, so they didn't even care if these people were murderers, as long as they were the best. Yes. The effort began in earnest in 1945 as the Allies advanced into Germany and discovered a wealth of scientific talent. Remember in Daniel that we just looked at, it says skilled and understanding science. As the Allies advanced into Germany and discovered a wealth of scientific talent and advanced research that had contributed to Germany's wartime technological advancements, the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff officially established Operation Overcast on July 20th, 1945, with the dual aim of leveraging German expertise to assist in the ongoing war effort against Japan and to bolster U.S. post-war military research. They conquered them, they took the best into Babylon. All right. Now, another thing about Babylon, ancient Babylon. Ancient Babylon was confident that she could never, ever fall. Compare that with the United States today. They are super confident. I'm an American. Super confident that they cannot fall. So ancient Babylon did not accept that she could fall. Jeremiah 50 verse 24.
I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon.
And thou wast not aware. Thou wast not what?
Aware.
Was not aware, because Babylon felt that she could never, ever fall. Continue.
Thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahuwah.
All right? So look at the prophesied end-time Babylon now. The end-time Babylon does not want to accept that she can fall. Same thing. Revelation 18 verse 7. Yeah, no, we're going to look at that by itself. Yeah.
How much has she exalted herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow,
and shall see no sorrow. Same two Babylons. Both of them believe that they cannot fall. Now, Yahoo Finance 2024 tells you of how powerful US is, why they think they cannot fall. The United States, which accounts for 40% of all defense expenditure worldwide. Out of all countries in the world, 100 and almost 200 countries, one country accounts for 40% of the whole world. The United States, which accounts for 40% of all defense expenditure worldwide, continues to maintain military superiority over its rivals. especially when it comes to aerial and naval power. The trend is likely to stay given the level of research and development being carried out in the US on defense technology. So they continue. So this is why they think they cannot fail. They are so superior militarily to other people, they believe that they cannot fall. Go ahead. Huh?
It's also because of the economy too.
Yes.
Because imagine 3 of the richest countries in the world have to come together to match your economy. They're gonna feel really powerful.
Yes. But their economy is very wanting because they are borrowing and doing all sorts of bad things to bolster that economy. But they have some little known lurking dangers today to show you that Babylon will soon fall. 2008, there was a housing crisis in the United States. Just one single thing, housing crisis. And look what happened to the economy. Look how many people committed suicide. Look how many people lost their houses. Look how many people struggled. One thing. But I just ran through YouTube looking at what's happening today. Number one, there's a housing crisis that is looming because the average American cannot afford the average priced home. Right? Then you have some big companies that are behind the scenes buying up all the real estate, and people are wondering why. So people can hardly get any homes to buy. The housing market is going down. Another thing that is happening in the United States right now, hundreds of banks at risk of failing. The banking sector, problems. Now, if you have problems with the banking sector, if the banks crash, what's going to happen? Imagine United States, the banks crashing in the US. So imagine housing crisis, banking crisis. Fox Business says, through this man called Harry Dent, a highly respected economist, he says 2024 will bring the biggest stock market crash of our lifetime. So we have housing crisis, banks failing, and a stock market crash. Let me tell you something. See, if all of these things come to pass, it's going to be a woeful time in this world. Steve Forbes, I think he's from Forbes magazine. He said, he's quoted as saying, "Watch out, an economic firestorm is beginning to form." Or was this year he said it? MetLife. This brother called Drew Matos from MetLife says we are expecting a recession in 2024. Then this other respected economist called Peter Schiff issued a warning. He says the US economic crash will be worse than 1929. So we just showed 6 different things. It's 6 dangerous things that are looming for Babylon, USA. Worse than 1929. Because everything is involved. Housing, banks, stock market, everything is lurking to crash. All right? So Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon, here's another thing we're going to look at. Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon was used to keep the earth under subjection. Jeremiah 51 verse 7. There's no difference between Old Babylon and New Babylon. Jeremiah 51 verse 7, same thing.
Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahuwah's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad.
Now, can you tell me which nation in the world has made the whole world drunken? Which nation in the world has made the whole world drunken? United States. It is the United States with their movies, their fashion, their entertainment, their sports people, their entire culture that has, oh, where am I? Oh, yeah. That has made the earth drunken. Because everywhere you go, and I've said it before that when I came to South Africa, I was in shock. I expect to see people looking like Africans and see African culture. When I come, I see United States culture in how they dress and everything. Huh? In everything. Yes. Come to Jamaica. Go to Jamaica, it's the same thing. Everywhere you go, Babylon, making the earth drunken. All right. Jeremiah 27, 5 to 8. Go ahead.
I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are upon the ground, by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me. And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him.
Go ahead.
And all nations shall serve him, and his son, and his son's son, until the very time of his land come. And then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him.
It's the same thing with the United States. United States has been given the world for a time. Everything has been given into his hand, but there is an expiration date. Many nations, until the very time, this is it, until the very time of his land comes. So their time is going to come. Verse 8.
And it shall come to pass that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, that nation will I punish, saith Yahuwah, with the sword, and with the famine, and with the pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand.
When the United States was in its heyday, any nation that does not serve them, what happened to them? They are punished. Every nation that does not serve them will be punished. Remember Noriega in Panama? Most I said the Americans say X, Noriega say Y. Americans say and invaded Panama. What was that? Grenada, a small island in the Caribbean. America say X, they say Y. They invaded Grenada. Which other country again? Huh? They tried with Cuba, but Cuba did a good thing with them. With the Bay of Pigs invasion, they tried. And Cuba held them off and embarrassed them. Venezuela the other day tried a thing. America say X, Venezuela say Y. Little after that you heard Venezuela, one of the greatest oil nations in the world. Venezuela become one of bring down the economy. That not even gas that they produce, the people can buy, afford to buy.
Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe.
Oh yes, Robert Mugabe.
Classic. Yes.
Hey.
Have $1 million bill.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Bring down their economy. Anyone who stands up against them. There's no difference between old Babylon and new Babylon. Yeah, till they bow to it. But now the Zimbabweans have a new currency, the Zim, which is based on gold, which, of course, is going to be stronger than the US currency. Watch what's going to happen. Yes. So, Gaddafi. Remember Gaddafi? But before that, Saddam Hussein. They step in everywhere. Anybody who won't serve them, they destroy them. Who else did they whip again? Yes, but they don't care. They tried in Afghanistan, but the Afghans are dangerous people. I don't know who those people are. No, those people, I don't know who they are in history or in the Bible, but these people are some bad people. The Russians tried in the 90s, I think. They whipped the Russians had to run. The great United States came. They had to leave. The Americans had to leave and say, hey, real bad men those. Who else did they try with? But anyway, you get the picture. Anyone who does not serve them, it's no difference. Old Babylon and New Babylon. The reason, Who? Oh. And even in little Jamaica, remember, Michael Manley wanted to align with Cuba and go socialist, democratic socialist. Man, America shake down the economy. I remember growing up in that time in the 70s. America shake down the economy. You know how you know it was America? We couldn't get certain things in the supermarkets. I remember being a little boy and hear my grandmother and my mother and everybody talking about they married this and married that. So you have to buy to get sugar, you have to buy flour. To get saltfish, you'll have to buy something in a tin. Everything they married things together. And they said after Manley lost and Seaga won, and the next day, all the supermarkets were open and had everything well stocked. There's some infiltration that they made into the country and got to the capitalist people. That is the United States of America. All right? So the US is also used to keep the world quiet and under subjection as the world police. But funny enough, United States has kind of relinquished the job of world police, which is where you know that their time is coming to an end. Because the Most High has them as the world police to keep the world quiet. Zechariah 1, 8-17. So if they are not being used to keep the world quiet, what purpose do they have? It's their time to go. Zechariah 1, verse 8.
I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were their red horses, speckled and white. Then said I, O my master, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom Yahuwah hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they answered the angel of Yahuwah that stood among the myrtle trees and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest.
These are spirits, but they are manifested in countries for them to execute their work on the earth. The red horse, speckled and white. And when you look at those colors, just look at the colors of the flags. Red horse. This is a job that the United States was given. Britain was given this job once, and they handed it over to the United States in the latter days. Which verse are we?
12.
Yes, go ahead.
Then the angel of Yahuwah answered and said, O Yahuwah Sabaoth, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which thou hast had indignation these 70 years?
So here's the deal. As long as our people are in captivity and under manners, as we say in Jamaica, then the nation of the United States, the Most High always has a nation that rules the world to ensure that everything in the world stays in order so that we continue in our captivity. But when our captivity is over, he will have no use for this nation. Continue.
And Yahuwah answered the angel that talked with me with good words and comfortable words. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah Sabaoth, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
So the Most High is saying here, the angel saying, how long will you not have mercy on Jerusalem? Because as long as he does not have mercy on Jerusalem, on our people, these nations will continue to roam the earth to make sure everything is quiet. But the Most High said, he is jealous with Jerusalem. What are these bugs? With Jerusalem, with he is jealous with a great jealousy. So the Most High is saying that he is ready to deliver his people. So when it's time to deliver his people, that's when the United States time is up. So the US has stepped back as world police and leaves a huge void. This is an article from DW.com. This is how you know that it is our time. People, there is a reason when you go to the United States and you look on the corners of the cities, you see our people there, Hebrew Israelites, speaking, waking up the people. It is no coincidence. It is that our time has come. The Most High is going to deliver our people. And at the same time that they're doing it, the United States economy, the United States is taking a dive down. It's no coincidence. It's going to keep going down, and our people are going to keep rising up. December 29, 2018. While visiting troops in Iraq, U.S. President Donald Trump said Washington will no longer play the role of the world's policeman. And then the article says, but no one can replace the U.S., not even the EU, writes DW's Christoph Hasselbach. So nobody can replace the U.S. because there will no longer be a world police. Because the Most High says he's jealous with a deadly jealousy, and he is going to recover his people. That is why, people, we are at the time of the end. We are at the end of the age. You have to understand where we are. It is time for his people to be delivered. Babylon, USA, will be destroyed, and his people will be delivered and brought to Zion. So the USA no longer needed to police the world. It is time for Judah's deliverance. Zechariah 1, verses 18 to 21. Look at it. This is when the Most High is ready to deliver his people. Read it, please.
Then lifted I up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, What be these? And he answered me, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, Yasharel, and Jerusalem. And Yahuwah showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, What come these to do? And he spake, saying, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head.
But
these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
we are at the time when the Most High is going to cast out the horns, the power of the Gentiles over his people, and he's going to recover his people. That is why United States is falling and will fall to a big crash. Suddenly, everything is going to fall one time. You see all the things that we said, housing crisis, stock market, dollar this, everything is going to happen one time. What's going to happen? You watch. So, striving against Yahuwah. The USA striving against Yahuwah. Babylon strove against Yahuwah. Jeremiah 50 verse 24. Read Jeremiah 50 verse 24 again. You don't have to put in the prophecy about United States. United States is big and large in prophecy. Jeremiah 50 verse 24.
I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahuwah.
So Babylon of old strove against Yahuwah. USA striving against Yahuwah. Let me just give some of them. These things just came to my mind. Just to my mind, to show you how much they strive against Yahuwah. Abortions. USA is the abortion capital of the world, killing millions of people through their liberal abortions. Yes? Striving against Yahuwah. Gay rights. United States, the gay capital of the world, with their gay pride, taking the Most High's rainbow and taking it for their own. The Most High gave the rainbow to Noah and said, this is a sign that I will no longer destroy the world. They took the rainbow for their nastiness, their homosexuality. Yeah, they took out one of the colors. Indigo, right? They took out one of the colors. And what's the meaning of that color? Something to do with order. So it's rebellion, which is exactly what they did. So we also have their leaders mocking the Most High. Obama, I remember Obama running a joke and mocking the Bible. I remember Trump mocking, saying that he doesn't need to repent at all. You never heard that? He said he doesn't need to repent. Another way Babylon USA strives against Yahuwah, sex change. Yeah, the sex change capital of the world. If you're a man and you think you're a woman, then you can become a woman changing your sex. And not only that, people will have to call you. If you're a man, you think you're a woman, people will have to call you by the female pronoun. Go ahead.
In other countries, some countries in Africa, they put them in a psychiatric ward for trying to do something like that.
All right.
Or even trying to lay with your next man.
Yes.
Put them in a psychiatric ward.
And these people say.
And over 5 years, they have to change or so.
Mm-hmm. But these people say that it is good, it is right. And they've reached to the point where little children, I remember reading how a 4-year-old can make up their mind that they want. If she's a girl, she can be a boy. If a boy, you can be a girl. And get sex change. What a despicable place like the United States.
Countries, they teach a child that, no, you are a boy. And
Yes.
show them the difference between boy and girl.
Yes. But the United States, no, leave him alone. They also do that in England as well, I think. Yeah. Another way they strive against Yahuwah, funny enough, is that NASA space program, where they try to tell lies about the shape of the earth and how they gone out into space and all sorts of lies upon lies. Lies upon lies. Striving with Yahuwah, trying to prove that what the Most High wrote in his book is a lie. Another way they strive is through their Christianity and their prosperity gospel. Changing the meanings of the word, and through Christianity in general, changing the meaning of the word and making it into a lie. Another way they strive against the word is women's rights, making women equal or more powerful, stronger than men. Another way they strive against the Most High is organized prayer or Bible readings in public schools are unconstitutional. So you cannot organize prayer in their schools anymore, striving against Yahuwah. Yeah. Yeah, in Utah, a woman complained that the Bible was too violent and something else in the district, and they took it out of the school because the woman was perturbed against the Bible. Striving against Yahuwah. Another way they strive against Yahuwah is by persecuting the children of the Most High. We know that in the United States, that is where our people are worst treated because, These things are all over me. And I laugh. Yeah. Yeah. That is where people are persecuted. Mothers are afraid to send out their male children because they fear police killings, police shootings. Our people there are hated more than anywhere else. And no matter, our people help to build their country, and they continue to despise us. Another way they strive against Yahuwah is through their sorcery. We're going to look at that. Their witchcraft, their sorcery. Pharmakia. All right. I think we're going to look at it separately, so I won't go into it. Along with that, another similarity. Jeremiah 50, verse 31 to 32. Read them, please. I think we looked at that last time. We looked at this US.
Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahuwah Eluah of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him.
You see that? Thou most proud. The most proud. Is there a more proud nation than the United States of America today? Is there a nation that is more proud than the US? If you can find it, you tell me. The land of the free and the home of the brave, this and that. Huh? Was that one? Huh? What is it? Jamaica. The US, there's no nation more proud than the United States of America. It's a nation that thinks that they cannot be defeated. You can't want more proud than that. Yes? So, pride. They are so proud that they have gay pride and take over the word proud for themselves. All right, so another similarity now. Guess what? Babylon, America, has the same enemies as the Babylon of the Bible. The same nations that destroyed the Babylon of the Bible are the same nations that are the enemies of United States of America today. Jeremiah 51, 27 to 28, please. Anyone who believes that this place, you can sit pretty in there, you see? When the Most High launches. 7 to 8. Where was I? 27 to 28, I said.
27.
Yeah, go ahead.
Set ye up a standard in the land. Blow the trumpet among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Minni, and Ashkenaz. Appoint a captain against her. Cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion.
All right, so we have the Medes. The Medes today are what? Are who? Who are the Medes today? One of America's arch enemy. Iran. That the Americans call Iran. But I know it as Iran. Iran. Yes? Now, Ararat and Minni and Ashkenaz. You know, I had this thing and let me see if I can find it. I need to get the names of these nations. I need to get the names of these nations. All right, yeah. Ararat. Ararat is in a country called Armenia, which borders modern-day Turkey. Mini is also in Armenia. But Ashkenaz is another name for Scythia. Scythia is in southern what? Russia today. No. Huh? Yes. So let's look here. Armenia. Because we said Mini is in Armenia and Ararat. What Armenia? After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Armenia has shared Russia's approach aimed at strengthening the Commonwealth of Independent States. So Armenia was one of the Soviet states. So technically they are Russia. Armenia and Russia are both members of a military alliance, the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO, along with 4 other ex-Soviet countries, a relationship that Armenia finds essential to its security. It's the same enemies they have. This is Russia. All right? So here we have a map of Ararat, Scythians, and Magog. So we have the Scythians and Magog mixed up here together, and anyone who knows about Magog knows that Magog is modern-day Russia. So right here, the Scythians and Magog, same people. Then we have a little further south, we have Ararat, we have Georgia above Armenia, then Armenia right there. So, same enemies. What a coincidence, though, that they have the same people that is saying that's going to destroy them are their enemies today. Another thing that we looked at as well is sorcery. United States is the pharmaceutical capital of the world, the sorcery capital of the world. The mark of the beast was given to us by the United States in collaboration with China. Just saw a video the other day that joint something committee that when those politicians quiz someone was quizzing one of the Americans. Huh? Yeah, the mark of the beast vaccine. Oh, through the yeah. I know that they'll think that. Yeah. So, yeah. YouTube, pretend you didn't hear. If they take it off, they take it off. You have it saved. So, Mark of the Beast from the USA in collaboration with China got something that they accepted that they taxpayers helped to fund gain-of-function research for Wuhan laboratories. So it's a mix-up. America is in there. Revelation 18:21 to 23. Revelation 18:21 to 23. People, if you are in that country called United States, get out. Revelation 18:21 to 23.
And a mighty angel took up a stone, like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city, Babylon, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all.
Now we know the United States now. The place where you have entertainment and fun and music and musicians and all sorts of skilled craftsmen and everything and production, producing this and that. Verse 22 is for them. Go ahead.
And the voice of the harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And
the light?
And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee.
Hold on there. You see this light of a candle? You know, one year they had a Super Bowl commercial. And the commercial, like the cities just got dark, dark, dark. And I'm wondering if there's some people are speculating that in the end time, everything they're going to use lights out to execute their evil. So I'm wondering if this is what it's talking about. Read 23 again, please.
And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
Boy, so much similarities between these two. Thy merchants were the great men of the earth. You can't get more exact than this. The United States merchants. These are the great men, the richest men in the world. The businessmen of the United States. The United States has the most billionaires and the most millionaires in the whole world. Huh? Is that? Go again.
What I got from the light?
Yeah.
The light of the candle shall shine no more. Remember they said, you can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Remember they said that that specific place in America called New York is a city that never what? Sleeps. Yeah, that's the Big Apple. It lays lights, there's activity up and down the place all the time, 24/7. So the light will go out.
Yeah. City that never sleeps. Oh, man. Well, it's being recorded. People on the radio. I'm sorry. No, it's just connecting. It's not going. Oh, I see what's the problem. Oh, I see it. Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry about that for those on the radio. So thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And as we have done a million times, looking at that word, sorceries, the word sorceries there is from G5331, pharmakia, which comes from G5332, medication, pharmacy. That is by extension, magic, literal or figurative, sorcery, witchcraft. So by thy sorceries, by thy medication, by thy pharmacy, were all nations deceived, because all nations took you for what you said, that these are medicines. These will help to cure us. We did not know that it was sorcery, that you were actually casting spells using these drugs. So that is the United States of America, king of sorcery, just like in the days of Babylon. Now, we also looked at this before as well. We looked at the migrant crisis in the Bible. And we're going to look at it again. Jeremiah 51 verses 1 to 4. Many people did not know that the United States migrant crisis is in the Bible. If you're wondering what it is migrants coming through the porous borders of the United States with Mexico and flooding the entire United States. Flooding the United States with men. Many of these criminals, drug runners. And many people are actually saying that there are also soldiers coming across, that the place is being packed, run over. The enemies are coming in, everything. It's the Most High who did it. What did I say? Jeremiah 51 verses 1 to 4. The Most High did it, and he wrote about it so many years ago. And look at it right here before us. Jeremiah 51. When you finish watching this, if you're still not convinced that the United States is this Babylon that is spoken about, I'm sorry, but we cannot help you. Jeremiah 51 verses 1 to 4.
Thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about.
In the day of trouble, they shall be round about her. Let me get this thing. I'm going to send fanners into Babylon. What is this fanners thingy? Fanners. The meaning of fanners is zur. Hence, to be a foreigner, strange. To commit adultery, come from another man, another place. Fanner. So, who are coming in at the borders? People who come from where? Another place, isn't it? Foreigners, right? These are the fanners, foreigners pouring through the borders. That shall fan her. Look at the meaning of fan. Fan is zara. It means to toss about, by implication to diffuse, winnow, cast away, compass, disperse, fan, scatter away, spread, strew, winnow. Guess what's happening? These fanners or foreigners are coming in. They are diffusing, scattering throughout the United States, dispersing throughout the United States, spreading out throughout the United States into the different cities. And what does it say it's going to do to them? That shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. When the Most High activates these people, they are the ones who are going to do the wickedness on the people. It says, verse 3, read verse 3.
Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men.
What verse are we again?
Verse 3.
Oh, yeah.
Destroy ye utterly all her host.
Verse 4.
Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her street.
You see that? Thrust through, stabbed. Dakar, thrust through, to stab. So these people are going to go around through and just start stabbing people and killing people when the Most High activates them. This is what's coming to America. Those people you see filling the place, they are going to destroy ye utterly all her host. They are going to give some serious problems. Does this sound like a place that you want to be? Guess what the Most High says again? I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars. Read Jeremiah 51 verse 13 to 14.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures,
United States.
thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness.
The measure of thy covetousness. How covetous can you get than the United States? Rich and everything, and yet still meddling and pulling and going around doing all sorts of things. Still want more. Verse 14.
Yahuwah Sabaoth hath sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee.
These are the people who are coming through the borders. The Most High says, I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars. What's the significance of men as with caterpillars? Okay.
The caterpillars eat down stuff. Everything that's alive, everything that's green, it destroy it.
Thank
Eat
you.
it right down to the
That's
ground.
one. That's one of them. There's another one. That's another one. After they eat,
They
before they eat, before they eat,
before they eat or after they eat.
no, when they eat first and then they become
This cocoon, they go to
Yes.
sleep. They go to sleep after, then they come out and
they go to sleep.
turn into something different.
Yes. So these men are going to come in and they are going to eat. And as we say in Jamaica, they're going to yam food. They're going to eat food. Hey. And already they are doing it. A lot of trouble has been caused. So it's going to be a whole lot of men. I will fill thee with men. It's the Most High that is causing that migrant thing that you're seeing people doing by the border. This is for their destruction. Their destruction is near. And why is the Most High doing it? The Most High is taking vengeance for what they did to our people. Jeremiah 51:35-37. It will be the Most High taking vengeance for what they did to our people. So, our people, come out of her, my people. Revelation 18:4. Come out of her. The Most High is going to whip their butts for what they did to us. That nice place that you see with those great, powerful, those great buildings and those great businesses and everything, is going to be a ruin. It's going to be a heap. Get out before this happens. Jeremiah 51:35-37. Go, please.
The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitant of Zion say,
That's us.
and my blood upon the inhabitants of Chaldea. Shall Jerusalem say, Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, I will plead thy cause, and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea, and make her springs dry.
So all those killings when they used to abuse us and kill us, you all our people, you forget about that? When they abuse us, when the police just kill our people like that, the Most High is taking vengeance for it. And what are you going to do? Sit down in it? Come out of her, my people. Verse 37.
And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, an astonishment, and an hissing, without an inhabitant.
The Most High is going to take vengeance for us. Come out of her, my people. Now, from a world standpoint again, you see, so many people are intent to destroy the United States. I can tell you that even the people in the United States want to destroy it. The leaders want to destroy it because they want to set up their fourth industrial revolution, the next kingdom, the New World Order. For the New World Order to take place, America has to be destroyed because American people are fiercely proud. And they will not allow the United States to give up its independence because of their pride. So you will have to topple the entire country. So the United States is being destroyed to set up the fourth kingdom of Daniel. Daniel 2, verse 40 and 44.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, forasmuch as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
So they are destroying the U.S. to set up this fourth kingdom. But look at this. Verse 44. It tells you that it doesn't even make sense because as this fourth kingdom is set up, that is when the Messiah is going to return. People, get out of that place. Verse 44, Daniel 2.
And in the days of these kings shall the Eluah of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
This is the kingdom that we are looking forward to. That is why we flee out of Babylon. We are looking for this kingdom, not this fourth one. So why do I stay in the United States when I'm looking for a kingdom whose builder and maker is Eluah? So because they want to set up this fourth kingdom, hence you have the rise of BRICS. You build with BRICS. BRICS is how they are building their fourth kingdom, their new world order. BRICS is the answer to the United States because the United States, they're going to kill the dollar, they're going to destroy the US, and they're going to rise with this BRICS that will build their new house to set up their new fourth industrial revolution. Don't let them fool you. As Bob Marley said, don't let them fool you, don't let them school you. Russia, China, all of them, United States, all of them in one order in order to set up this. Every one of them are in this together. Now, something very significant, Because this now is speaking about us, our people. What are we to do? What are we going to do at this time? At the time of the destruction of Babylon, the children of Israel will be seeking their way to Zion. Go to Jeremiah 50, verse 2 and 4 to 5. At the time of the destruction of the United States, the children of Israel will be seeking their way to Zion. If you know what is happening in this world, many of our people are leaving the United States. Many of them are going to Africa. Yes? Many of them are going to Africa. Some in West Africa, South Africa, East Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, those places. South Africa, West Africa, Ghana. A lot of people are going. This is prophecy. At the time of the destruction of Babylon, America, the children of Israel will be seeking their way to Zion. 50 verse 2.
Declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard. Publish, and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces.
Verse 4.
In those days, and in that time, saith Yahuwah, the children of Yasharel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping.
They shall go and seek Yahuwah their Allure. 5. They shall ask the way to Zion.
with their faces thitherward, saying, Come, and let us join ourselves to Yahuwah in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
Is this you? Is this what you're doing now? Because that is what is prophesied as saying. Asking our way to Zion, saying, Come, let us join ourselves to Yahuwah in an everlasting covenant that shall not be forgotten. This is what the children of Israel should be doing, not sitting in Babylon, USA, going through the paces that they have always gone through. So the children of Israel again will be fleeing Babylon to go back to Zion, to go back to their own land. It says in the prophecies that they will go back to, every man will go back to their own land. If you are an Israelite, if you are a descendant of Jacob, if, for example, you're a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade, chances are you're an Israelite. If that is you, your own land is not the country in which you were born. Because many people are going back, people fleeing back, for example, to the, Jamaicans fleeing back to Jamaica. Jamaicans fleeing back to Jamaica. Jamaica is not our home. Jamaica is the land of our captivity. That is not my home. You are to flee out of the land of your captivity and go back to your own land, which is Zion. Jeremiah 50, verse 16 and verse 28. Read, please.
Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people, and they shall flee every one to his own land.
So everyone to his people. If you're from Europe, go back to Europe. But for us, the land of our captivity is not our land. So if you are in America, you were born in America, grew up in America, African American parents, that is not your land. You are to flee to your own land. Now, what is our land? Verse 28 of Jeremiah 50.
The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion.
To declare where?
To declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahuwah, our Allure, the vengeance of his temple.
So our people, the children of Yasharal, ask your way to Zion with your face thitherward. That is your land. All right? So, flee out of the midst of Babylon whilst you still can. We're touching down now to the end. Flee out of the midst of Babylon while you still can. Can I get some light? Zechariah 2, verse 7.
Deliver thyself.
Hold on, let me get it on this. Zechariah 2, verse 1. Go ahead. Verse 7. Did I say so one? 7, yes.
Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
That's a very powerful verse. Look at all the words. Deliver thyself. You know, we have a whole bunch of people. Most of the people in this world, a vast majority of believers who are sitting in Babylon waiting to be delivered. It's very easy. I'm plain. Deliver thyself. Oh Zion, as long as you're an Israelite, you have to deliver yourself. That dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. So our people who are in Babylon, it says, deliver yourself. Revelation 18:4, it says the same thing. We've said it before. Read it again, please. Let's see if somebody is coming for us. Revelation 18:4.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
It says, come out of her. Come out. Now the word come there. In the come out. Look at the meaning here. The word come, it's exerkomai. To issue, literally or figuratively, come forth, out. Depart out of. Escape. Get out. Go abroad. Sure. Go away. Go forth. Go out. Go thence. Proceed forth. Spread abroad. That's what come out of her means. So nothing in there tells me that I should wait on someone to do anything. Come out of her, my people. Go. Jeremiah 50, verse 8. Jeremiah 50, verse 8. I'm telling you. Boy, we've been doing this for how long, and boy, it's getting more critical now. They're going to come back with their diseases. They're going to come back with their sickness. They're going to come back with their mark of the beast thing to put in your body. They're going to come back with that. We're just telling people now, we're telling you seriously so you can see it before your very eyes that this is modern day Babylon. Get out. Verse 8 of Jeremiah 50.
Remove out of the midst of Babylon.
What should we do?
Remove out of the midst of Babylon.
Does that sound like somebody waiting on someone? The word remove there, let's look at it. The word remove, it's nude. A primitive root to nod, that is waver. Figuratively to wander, flee, disappear. Yes? It says flee, make to move. Yeah? Remove. Yeah. So that doesn't tell me anything. I see others, but they're not so relevant. That doesn't tell me anything of sitting and waiting on anyone at all. Read the verse, please. Remove out of the midst.
Remove out of the midst of Babylon,
And
go
go forth
out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her.
Oh, okay, no, we don't want that. Remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans. That is elective. That is what we must elect to do. I'm very sorry. There is no one coming to pick you up. You will have to go by yourself. Jeremiah 51, verse 5. We are trying to help you to wake up. Read it, please.
For Yasharel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his Eluah, of Yahuwah Sabaoth, through their land, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Yasharel.
So the Most High is assuring us, He has not forsaken us. Though our land was filled with sin, when it's time to flee out of the midst of Babylon, He's going to help us. Verse 6.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul.
Here we go again. Deliver thyself. Every time it tells you to come out of Babylon, it tells you some action that you have to take. Continue.
Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahuwah's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
He's telling you that if you stay there, when it is time for Babylon to be hit, you are also going to be partakers of that punishment. Be not cut off in her iniquity. All right. Go to verse, go to 7. Did we go to 7?
Went to it earlier.
Yeah, go to verse 9.
We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
Forsake her, and let us.
And let us go, every one, into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven.
There we go again. Let us go, everyone, into his own country. That is a conscious decision to electively go. To electively go. Not to be waiting on someone. Yeah? Verse 45.
My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of Yahuwah.
All right. Go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul. There we go. You see how many times it tells? This is 3 times now it's telling us to deliver our souls. It keeps telling us to go out of her. Go ye out of the midst of her. And also we have Revelation 18:4 that we have looked at twice before. All right? So we are at the end, and this last one here is to show you that fleeing Babylon will bring pardon to our people. Fleeing Babylon will bring pardon to our people. The faith that it takes to flee out of the midst of Babylon will do us good before the Most High. He will not do us good just to be sitting here pretty, waiting on someone. Jeremiah 50 verses 19 to 20 is how we will end it. Read it, please.
And I will bring Yasharel again to his habitation, and he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. In those days and in that time, saith Yahuwah, the iniquity of Yasharel shall be sought for, and there shall be none, and the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve.
Read that again. I will.
For I will pardon them whom I reserve.
That's it. So this is a relatively short teaching today, 1.5 hours, but we did it and we like how it is short, so it will not be so daunting for people to actually watch. Please share this with your family and friends. If you have families, friends in the United States of America, please share it with them. Please, the United States is modern day Babylon. If there's anyone listening to this that has a doubt, I don't know what else we need to tell you, but it's very obvious that this is modern day Babylon that is to be destroyed. And the destruction has already begun. America is crumbling. They are giving you nice figures to make it seem like everything is nice, but they are hiding it because it is going to be the perfect storm. The collapse of America is going to be the perfect storm where everything happens at once and everything happens. And when it happens, it will be an astonishment for those. People will just be looking at each other and can't believe. What's happening? There's gonna be chaos. There's gonna be people. I won't even tell you what is possible when the stock market crash, when the housing market crash, when the dollar crash, when the banks crash, when yes. And remember, most Americans don't have savings. They rely on credit. Yeah? Yeah. You need to speak on the thing.
They just look, one day, you don't have a bank account, you don't have a home, you don't have a job. The crisis just come in and suddenly and everything crash. All the banks crash. You don't really have a home because they're repossessing the home. You don't have an account because the bank crash, all your money is gone to nothing.
Shooting. Because when people don't have, it's gonna go to the movies that they presented to us. When you have chaos and people running through and everybody shooting the first person they see, trying to get what they have. It's going to be one crazy, crazy world. All right? I was listening to a prophetess that was speaking about it. She speaks about it all the time, the destruction of America. And she put another spin on it. She says that Americans are going to be hated everywhere. And when they go, they're going to be afraid to say that they are Americans because people are going to be after them and people are going to want to kill them as well. They're going to be hated. The Bible tells you that they are going to be hated. And she says that what's going to give them away will be their accent. People are going to use their accent to identify them. That's what she's saying. I don't know. And she's saying, take it to another level, saying that China and Russia are going to invade the United States. That and they're also going to 50 and 51 kind of allude to some things like those. But I don't know. I'm not saying those things. I'm just telling you what some people are saying. What I'm saying is what the scripture says. Babylon is to be destroyed. Come out of her, my people. All right, anyone has anything else to say? And by the way, Babylon is the whole world. That city is going to be destroyed. It's going to impact the whole world of Babylon as well. Yeah. It's going to... Yeah. Can you imagine America being destroyed? The whole world depends on the American economy. It's going to plunge everything. That's why BRICS is preparing, so that there are going to be at least some countries that can stand up. Yeah. All right. Anything anyone else has to say before we go? Okay. So this was our teaching for today. I haven't even given it a name. Guess the name will come when I put it out. Thank you all for watching and or listening. And until next time, shalom.
Shalom.